something deeply unsettling is unfolding before our eyes, and somehow it's barely making waves in the mainstream conversation. A new report confirms what many have long suspected: Donald Trump does not read. That might sound like a late-night comedy punchline, but the implications of this are far from funny. In fact, they're potentially catastrophic. While some may laugh at the idea of a former president skipping out on reading daily intelligence briefings or refusing to engage with critical written information, the reality is this: when the commander-in-chief can't or won't absorb the nation's most vital updates, the entire country is left vulnerable. But before we dive deeper into this alarming revelation, let's rewind a few days to something that managed to slip by with far less outrage than it deserved. In a statement that was as cold as it was calculated, Trump essentially said he doesn't feel sorry for Joe Biden's cancer diagnosis. Yes, you heard that right. The former president of the United States showed zero empathy, choosing instead to twist a serious health condition into a moment of political attack. Let that sink in. In the past, moments of personal struggle, especially health-related ones, have brought Americans together, transcending partisan divides. Whether Democrat or Republican, we understood that decency demanded compassion, but those days seem long gone. Now, we have a man who casually dismisses his opponent's cancer diagnosis with thinly veiled glee because he's still bitter about being held accountable, barely, by the justice system. This isn't just about political rivalry anymore. It's about the steady erosion of human decency in our public discourse. And the responses to Trump's remarks were scathing, and deservedly so. Vile, deplorable, inhuman. These were just a few of the words people used. One comment in particular stood out: avoid people who are purposely dreadful human beings. Don't sleep with them, don't marry them, don't work for them, and don't vote for them. It's hard to argue with that logic when we're staring down this level of cruelty from a man who once held the highest office in the land. But perhaps there's a silver lining in Trump's shamelessness. If anything, his open disdain gives the rest of us permission to stop pretending he deserves sympathy when karma finally comes around. His callousness has made it clear: empathy is a one-way street with this man, and he's chosen to burn the bridge behind him. Now, let's return to the disturbing report that should be making headlines everywhere. According to an investigative piece from the Daily Beast and corroborated by NBC News, Trump's own team has been scrambling to find a way, any way, to get the former president to engage with national security briefings. The solution? Turn the briefings into TV segments, complete with graphics, animations, and possibly even Fox News hosts. Why? Because Trump doesn't read. Not won't. Can't. Tulsi Gabbard, in an unexpected twist, is apparently spearheading the effort to convert these crucial documents into digestible TV content. There's even talk of bringing in Fox News producers, yes, entertainment media producers, to handle classified intelligence. Let's just pause for a second and consider what that means. Instead of reading private and secure reports prepared by seasoned analysts, Trump's team wants to hand off national secrets to a group whose job is to generate ratings, not protect the country. Of course, the White House's official response was to call this ridiculous gossip, insisting that Trump has always been in close contact with his intelligence team. But actions speak louder than statements, and the facts are hard to deny. Trump only took 14 intelligence briefings in a critical stretch of his presidency, compared to the dozens taken by Biden and Obama during the same time frame. That's less than once a week, and in a world where threats can emerge and evolve in hours, not days or weeks, those missed briefings could be the difference between safety and disaster. This isn't even new behavior for Trump. Pete Davidson of Saturday Night Live once joked that Trump couldn't even read his hosting script during rehearsals. He allegedly made up his own lines because he couldn't follow what was on the page. And while it's easy to laugh at the image of a confused Trump calling his fictional daughter turkey legs in a sketch, the reality behind it, that he may genuinely struggle with basic reading comprehension, is terrifying when you remember he had access to the nuclear codes. Trump's detachment from reading isn't just about briefings. It's systemic. His speeches are famously written using monosyllabic language. Linguists and speechwriters have commented on the fact that his teleprompter addresses are specifically designed to accommodate his inability or refusal to handle complexity. And even with that level of simplification, he often goes off script, flubbing facts and geography, like the time he claimed to have spoken at Ohio State when the event actually took place at the University of Alabama. Let's be clear. It's not just that Trump won't read. He refuses to engage with anything that can't be flattened into a 10-second soundbite or a Fox News headline. That's not leadership. That's infotainment. And for a country of over 330 million people, it's a dangerous game to have a leader more focused on memes and media manipulation than on actual governance. Take, for instance, Trump's recent obsession with launching a memecoin. While crises brew around the world and at home, he's pitching cryptocurrency gimmicks to supporters, offering private dinners as incentives. This isn't satire. It's real life. While we expect our leaders to address the pressing issues of our time, healthcare, infrastructure, national security, Trump is turning political capital into digital tokens. The man who once promised to drain the swamp is now hawking internet currency like a late-night infomercial salesman. And yet somehow, large segments of the population continue to cheer him on. Why? Because the circus is entertaining. And for some, that's enough. But while Trump sells spectacle, the institutions meant to protect our nation are left to adapt to his unwillingness to engage. Intelligence agencies are forced to dumb down their materials. Advisors scramble to find ways to hold his attention. And while they do that, real threats, from pandemics to cyber attacks to global conflicts, go unaddressed. History has already shown us what can happen when presidents ignore their briefings. Remember that infamous daily briefing before 9/11, the one that warned of potential terrorist activity? George W. Bush didn't act on it. And we all know how that turned out. These briefings matter. They are not optional reading. They are the front line of defense in a chaotic and unpredictable world. And yet, we now face the very real possibility of a former and possibly future president who simply refuses to do the bare minimum. A man who doesn't read, who mocks empathy, who confuses entertainment with governance, and who poses a threat not because of what he knows, but because of how much he chooses not to know. We're at a crossroads. We can continue to shrug this off as just more Trump being Trump, or we can acknowledge the grave risk of allowing someone so proudly disengaged to once again step into power. This isn't about partisanship anymore. It's about survival. It's about whether or not we still believe that the office of the presidency demands intellect, empathy, and responsibility, or whether we're ready to trade all of that in for a man who just wants to be on TV.